Hello, Cork and Ballydehob. Hope you're all very well. My name is Stephen James Smith and I'm a Chancer Poet from Dublin. Thanks to Joe and Caroline for asking me to be part of the Ballydehob Jazz Festival. I'm very fond of Ballydehob and those two in particular, as well as the O'Mahony's and Buds and all sorts of people down there and places that I've really grown and my affection has grown for them massively in the past few years. So thank you very much for welcoming me along and to welcome me virtually this time. So I'm going to say 3 poems for you, and one not by me and 2 by me, 2 new ones, so at least it'll keep you a bit interested in case we're going to do the same old shite again. So I'm not, it might be just new shite as well, but I'm going to start off with Begin by Brendan Kennedy. A lovely thing happened to me yesterday whereby I volunteered to do the Poetry Line, which was an initiative set up by Poetry Ireland and Alone, where poets rang elderly people to recite them poetry. Now they wanted to hear the poetry, and the lady Mary from Kilkenny was a big fan of Brendan Kennedy, so that's why I read this poem for her and will do for you now as well. And he's a Kerry man, said by a dub. To all you Cork heads, say la vie. Anyway, here we go. Begin again to the summoning birds, to the sight of the light at the window. Begin to the roar of morning traffic all along Pembroke Road. Every beginning is a promise born in light and dying in dark, determination and exaltation of springtime, flowering the way to work. Begin to the pageant of queuing girls, to the arrogant loneliness of swans in the canal, to bridges linking past and future, to old friends passing through with us still. Begin to the loneliness that cannot end, since it perhaps is what makes us begin. Begin to wonder at unknown faces, at crying birds in the sudden rain, at branches stark in the willing sunlight, at seagulls foraging for bread, at couples sharing a sunny secret, alone together while making good. Though we live in a world that dreams of ending, that always seems about to give in, something that will not acknowledge conclusion insists that we forever begin. So that's Brendan Kennedy poem. You'll find it online. I think it's absolutely beautiful. He's a great poet, and yeah, check him out if you haven't already. This is a short one. Joe will be glad to hear. He was like, Steve-o, you can't be doing these 18-minute long poems. None of them are 18 minutes long, Joe. Okay, one of them is maybe 12 minutes long. So cut me a bit of slack. Anyway, this is one I wrote on my birthday, which was on the 11th of April, and I received a lovely gift from a loved one, and I wrote about that. And this is it. So it's called Russian Fruit. On my birthday, you sent me fruit from Moscow with love, the sour taste of long distance made palatable by the fructose kiss of orange, pear, kiwi. Even an avocado, which is a fruit of sorts, finally a lemon, as we need some bitterness in us to know what sweetness is. I peeled back the flesh, thinking of you, how I want you in my mouth again soon. I added the fruit to my morning porridge. You sustain me now. For some unknown reason, I think of Russian mushrooms and picking these earthly white stars with you amongst chamomile petals and other things like what restaurants to dine in or children's clothes. This is what living tastes of. So that's that one. Bit sappy, but it's okay to be a bit sappy now and again. I am meant to currently be in Galway, as it happens, and I was meant to be going to Russia tomorrow to visit this lovely lady that sent me the fruit, but I'm sure we're all finding ourselves in challenging circumstances. I'm lucky, to be fair, comparative to most people, I suspect. Just trying to help out my parents, and I've got a bit of work on anyway, so that's keeping my brain ticking over. So maybe you'll get out there and write poems about fruit or whatever the fuck tickles your fancy. Right, so Joe did say to keep it short and sweet to about 10-15 minutes. I might go under time, Joe, as it happens, but you'll still have to pay me the same amount. That's the way it goes. Anyway, so this is the most recent thing that I've written. There's a beautiful video that's been made for us, and I hope to release it during the week. And there's some great music on it as well from Conor O'Brien of Villagers and Gareth Quinn Redmond. So keep an eye out on my social medias for that. So Stephen James Smith at SJS Words. And yeah, I'd appreciate if you gave that a share. It's one simple way that you can help out other artists is by finding their stuff online and giving it a share on your social media platforms, and do the same for all the people involved in the Ballydehob Jazz Festival. I was lucky enough to be down there for it a few years ago, and hopefully I'll be back for next year's. So here we go. This is called Collectively Counting, and I guess it's about all the shit that's going on right now. Counting numbers is a functional kind of meditation, a distraction in this state of isolation. Let's make a decision to count to 10 together and find a way to weather this hibernation. 1. How many days has it been? Have you found a new routine? Have you lost opportunities, new possibilities, new faith in our authorities, or still the same old anxieties? How heartened are you by the charity found in our communities? 2. How many are trying to catch our collective breath, bereft of touch and house party drinking too much? How many are drinking alone, would feel safer alone? How many are on the latest death toll? How many comparative charts do we need to console us? 3. How many expect an impending baby boom, something to look forward to amongst the gloom? How many Zoom downloads, jobs furloughed? How many had to look up the meaning of that word? 4. How many businesses with their backs against the wall? Yet how many received that welcome unexpected phone call or break in the rent, a pre-order? We're in this together, we're all accountable. How many are re-evaluating what's reasonable? 5. How many have discovered creativity, learnt the value of art and opened up to their own sensitivity, baked bread to find some normality? Yet how many are still privately privileged in this captivity? How much increased capacity on daft.ie due to the decline of Airbnb? How many epiphanies? 6. How many unflinching journalists will be the catalyst to cut through the populist rhetoric? How many idealists, realists wrap themselves in a flag at a time of distress? Yet how many care workers or those in nursing home care will be redressed? 7. How many clap for the front line while sharpening knives? How many comply to save lives? How many hospital tears, slaunch to your health but slawn to your wealth? How many facing fears? How much politicking is still done with stealth? How many hands washed? Scars are being masked, sanitizer sought, which disaster capital bought? 8. How many attempted suicides? Heavy hearts, praying to God. I hear a light heart lives longest, Meron Cree, Drummy Fad. How many cherished yet died for this old sod? How many get by with a wink and a nod? 9. How many aftermaths, new abnormals, fish in Venetian canals? How much collateral damage was within the rationale? How many great mornings and mourning greatly? How many memorials? How many air miles and carbon footprints saved, which implies rescue? They say this is tough and aren't you? 10. How many leaving certs lost? How much will the college course cost? How many sporting occasions, festival gatherings and built-up emotions need to be unleashed? How many empty streets, full coffins, open calls, closed businesses, quick fixes, slow down, stillness in this to what we bore witness? How much hope, resilience, reconnection, comfort and thanks? How many? How much? How hard to quantify? How many collectively counting numbers are our people's names which gives meaning to our lives? How many found reason to notice the seasonal change and weeping cherry blossoms blooming? How many were humbled by their beauty? As collectively we wait for their petals to scatter, to fall all across Ireland and gather on our streets and lonely lanes, a sort of slow washing again of our pains, on the living and the dead. How many will find healing when all has been said? One thing the distance has exposed: our hearts need to be close, not closed. So that's the last thing I wrote. hopefully you like the video when it's out. Oh, 10 minutes, there we go. Between 10 and 15 minutes, I've just breached that barrier there, as it were, that threshold. So I think that's enough, probably, from me. I hope to see you all again soon. I really do love Ballydehob, and by and large down to Joe and Caroline, and how welcome they make me feel when I go down there to do gigs, or when I'm not down there to do gigs, just down for the crack. Very much appreciate the community spirit down there. It's a wonderful place, and I might be a dub saying that, but I really do mean it. So thank you so much. Enjoy the rest of the Ballydehob Jazz Festival. Thanks for having me as part of it, and yeah, get out there and create yourselves, and take care of each other. Stay safe. Thank you very much. Bye bye. Slán.